All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back for the second map between these two teams, Sinister5 and Nibble. We saw a grueling matchup. We saw a grueling overtime. Sinister5 just battering through and fighting as much as they can, tooth and nail, for that when not even on their map pick. It didn't even look like they were prepared enough. Nibble brought all the preparation to the table, but still didn't pay off. Experience reigned supreme. But we move on to the second map. We're moving to Sinister5's pick, Nuke.
Yeah, and you got to kind of assume, I mean, we spoke about how new and adjusted, Vertigo has been. Nuke, one of the longest standing maps in the map pool, so definitely one where the experience is going to pay dividends even further. Definitely going to feel a lot more comfortable on this map, and of course it's their pick, so kind of to be expected. But Knife Round does go the way of Nibble, so they will be able to choose which side and kind of assume they're going to take that CT start it right here, right now. That's the case, Tools.
Yeah, CT sided map, definitely want to go for the CT start. So Vertigo and Nuke are quite similar in the sense that there's two levels, and therefore you can obviously be causing sound cues above and below. That should stem into some confusion now and then. So the technical maps do come out from both these teams. Very odd, very unique sets of map pools coming out of them. You don't really see this often, but what we do see is the third map, which is Inferno, if that comes to it. If that is the case, Nibble can punch back even stronger. Pistol round is about in smoke and kit onto Ivan. Most of the utility onto the IGL of Sinister5, elusive.
It does seem to be an outside take with a little bit of presence there, luring those players in towards that mouth. They are going to peek without the smoke. Zero Chance adjusts beautifully, and they take control of that secret stairs area.
Yeah, beautiful from Zero Chance. He just jumped to pull the aim from the CT defender. Frozen couldn't really shoot all the players there, but they're about to set up for the post plant there. They're going to take the ramp. There's a one-on-one battle about to go in there from Rogue and Dweezil. The rest of the CTs are coming from secret, coming from the flank. Dweezil, Rogues, all coming to the party here. Mohammed doing the best he can, picking up Deviant with a lovely headshot. He's got the kit, in fact, taking down my Rogues, and that's a 4v1. And unfortunately, I don't see this going any other way but 1-0 for Sinister5. Good pistol round strat. Nice pace. Catching Nibble Esports off guard.
Yeah,
What you kind of expect.
Again, once you get into that secret stairs area and you move towards that that lower bomb site, all the jewels are pretty close quarters. So Sin5 choosing a great place of attack there. And you can see them buying up here, but quite a big of investment coming out from Nibble, and the nades are huge. Oh!
Not much, but I do like the attempt. I do like the effort. Full spy. And they go for an airstrike into the outer side. Zero Chance taking out Ivan. Frozen. What can you show us, boy? What can you show us? Things have settled down a little. Just a little. Oh! Okay. Drive bar. I like drive bars.
Rogue
now you see me, now you don't. That's just going to force them to head towards that lower side. It is a 4v4, so the balance still being stalled from Nibble. They're going to smoke off single. They're going to smoke off control room.
Oh, frozen.
Okay. All right, goals. Let's talk about that a little. After this, though, it's a 3v4. That just forces Sinister5 into a sticky situation. The pre-match control of all the doors, of all the windows, so they have to just get out here and play for it themselves. Every man in their own right now. Dweezil wins his 1v1, and now comes down to the next. They have me chipped down to low HP, and DOD comes through with a lovely scout shot into Dweezil. Rogue. There's no kit. No quick time is of the essence, brother man.
Yeah, this bomb is planted safely. They will hear that defuse, but he's dealt with. Oh!
Okay.
Yes, both frags. And I wanted to comment earlier about how both players were kind of in that 1D range, and with that spam kill through the smoke, as well as that scout kind of trade, Nibble managed to steal that away from Sin5.
Yeah, I kind of forgot the rule of the lower bomb sites. You have to be able to control one side of the doorway, either double door or single door control room. You can't really plan for a post plant. The bomb wasn't even implanted for the last two plays, in a sense. It was planted behind silo, so you could see the confusion. You can see how stressed and pressured they were to make mistakes. So Nibble coming through with a lovely force buy, and it all started from the airstrike.
Yeah, definitely looked like it was too much of an issue, and of course Sin5 got the better or the man advantage from that situation, but so much damage being dealt, and later on in the round that just ends up becoming quite a big factor. But the top breach is the call. Elusive gets the first frag. They're not able to trade up quick enough. Dweezil eventually gets there. Rotations are thick and fast, but that gets dealt with. Deviant picks up a gun as well, gets another frag.
Deviant coming through for the gents of the lovely 3K there, moving into the side, just cleaning up all the rotators coming through heaven. That's a 3K coming out of him. Lovely burst, you could say. It was a nice burst. I mean, the molly on hearts, the smoke for mouth, the flashbangs, and ultimately just gave all the space for the players to flush through mouth.
Again, a critical kill there from Dweezil for the trade, and he just creates so much space once again. We saw him doing it time and time again on A in Vertigo, but opens up nicely here on Nuke as well.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh! Okay! Mohammed! Cares for no one. Throws caution to the wind and straight into Deviant's face. And they have full control of lobby, but that's just for Sinister5's hand. They're all going to be galloping through the lower side, moving on to the bomb side. The bomb will go down shortly. They have a lot of utility to work with. They're going to smoke with both choke points towards ramp and just make it a lot easier for the bomb going down and set up the post plant. Rogue is going to be holding the vent, and ultimately Secret. Two players run through his crosshair, finds one through the wall, but there's more to worry about. 4v4 deletes Frozen's face. Dweezil with that Mac 10's going to pick up some money onto Ivan by the ramp and pushing the smoke elusive. I guess. I don't know. What gun did he have, Goals?
I think he had the submachine gun for sure. I don't see any other world in which Elusive pushes through a smoke or sees that smoke as an opportunity. But with that said, solid
don't
hold.
See smokes, Goals. We see opportunities, and ultimately it's net Sinister5 the third round, and Rogue just to save that gun and CT spawn and fight another day. Sinister5 starting strong in their map, Goals. Strong in their map.
Yeah, looked like a bit of a wobble there on the second round, but they follow up with convincing wins. And again, a lot of pressure on the CT economy here. They are going to be forced to save, and T-side are starting to build an economy of their own as well. So definitely happier with their start here when you look at how they started Vertigo. So things are on the up for Sin5.
Pretty much just have to compound this round and get the fourth. As you can see, Nibble pretty much only have pistol hand cannons to work with. No hand cannons, in fact. Just pea shooters with no armor. Sinister5 have taken the right approach. They've gone outside. They want to use those rifles and those long-range angles. They're going to take heaven and ultimately finish onto that A site if possible.
Love what I'm seeing here. So sneaky, Sin5. So many players got such a positional advantage, and they're going to end up just clearing up the stack. Beautiful position by Deviant as well. Deals with the frags. It's kind of going as expected. There for the trade as well on Mohammed, and clinical round there.
Yeah, very clean round. They only lost one member. It's okay. They didn't even retrieve that gun as all of them were put to bed. And what's their money looking like? Weird. Can't even get an AWP up, so they're mature decision made by Nibble Esports. They've opted to just upgraded pistols, some body armor, because they want those AWPs. They want one in outside, potentially one in ramp. They want the full arsenal, so and they try their hand with deagles. And I've seen more with less, to be very honest with you, so a lot of caution has to be responded with from Sinister5. They're going to just pop flash and hit upper. No one at home, one on top of HUD. Dweezil pivots and turns, finally finds DOD on top of HUD. Elusive taken out. Ivan around mouth and stock stand at round coming out of Sinister5. Should be clean as well, I suppose.
Yep, expected, yeah. Very experienced. We spoke about the experience early on, and it's a very, very important factor when you look at rounds like this. So easy to give away and throw and swing the momentum of a game, but Sin5 dealing with these rounds with perfection here on Nuke. Showing why it's their map pick. Looking solid so far, Tools.
Yeah, this map has been in Counter-Strike for years and years and years. When you look at Deviant, he's been here since 1.5. He played 1.6 Nuke, so the architecture hasn't really changed much. The way you play the map hasn't changed much. As you could say the same for Elusive. You could say the same for Zero Chance. So you could see why they picked this to be their home ground.
Like this is Nibble's first real buy round, where they're going to be able to get that AWP up, full sets of util as well. I want to see some sort of adjustment, because right now Sin5 have been looking quite dominant.
It's crazy to think, right? You definitely want that AWP earlier. When you look at the scoreboard, it's round 7. It's the first time we see it out. First time we see all players on Nibble Esports with utility, and they're gonna be happy with this, and they're gonna just try sort of chip away at the scoreboard, even out the scores. Try supplement the economy by keeping 3 alive. That should be the overall game plan from them.
Quite a bit of nade damage done there too. Player holding default inside, and do see quite a bit of util left here on the CT side of things, but now this little positional gain here is going to be created for Sin5. They're going to throw the line smokes and play it softly and pretty much keep the opponents guessing.
I like the half crescent moon smoke. They're going to pop straight into towards heaven, actually, and that isolates Frozen. I caught no man's land, really. Ivan, he's going to have to push into hut. Doesn't want to be exposed to heaven. And the support player, he's got someone holding heaven, but no, secret play didn't really come through for Nibble Esports. No one there to flash. Frozen is the player to support them, and one by one they're slowly trickling down. They found the last player in the side. He's going to get traded out eventually. It seems like Sinister5 have their number. Have them in a chokehold, goals.
Yeah, I mean, you can just see by, like, you know, as they gain that ground and get that position towards heaven, or they get that first frag, immediately Deviant's kind of waiting, gets the push or the rotation from stairs. That forces somebody else to kind of reposition, or, as you say, get their back away from heaven. And ultimately, Elusive just playing patiently. As soon as the guys in heaven get spotted, he comes in to support as well. So, you know, the phases, again, to talk about it, Sin5 looking clinical there and really, really making this outside area kind of a focal, or, you know, focus point for them, and they really are dominating that position of the map.
Once again, they're back to the ecos. Something they don't really want to get used to. I mean, these type of rounds, you kind of want to escape with an AK and save it for the next round, perhaps even 2. Looking at their buy, it's definitely doable. That'll help the economy out quite a lot. And Zero Chance by Squeaky Door nades it out and does the usual sequence of events. He has good read into Frozen coming through ramp. Yusuf finally taking out Yvonne in the low events. No real answer goals coming from Nibble. They're playing such a timid style, such a passive style, except the one round where they did the airstrike. I would like to see some aggression. Oh, maybe that's the gun they need. Get it, son. But Tony Lutus, they need to sort of force the hand from Sinister5. They need to take the game to them, whether it's ramp aggression, lobby aggression, outside aggression. They need to start off that way, because playing a slow, methodical style only suits Sinister5, only makes them even happier, because they've been doing it for years.
Yeah, and it definitely was a success area for them, but also got to just start to think like they put a lot of energy and a lot of their focus into that first map. It was a tightly contested affair, but right now none of the individuals on the side of Nibble are rising to the occasion. And you know, you discuss what's needed and what needs to change, but ultimately you've got to land your shots, because I think, as you say, everybody has a plan until they get shot in the face, and Zero Chance gets dealt that favor.
Just the flick of the wrist, goals. Just the young flick of the wrists. It's the aggression I'm looking for, even though it was a bit discomforting for him. He had to really hit a crazy shot to bail himself out of that situation, but that's what happens in Counter-Strike when you have sick mechanical skills.
Oh, doesn't spot the player. Heaven gets overzealous there with that peek, and he gives back the advantage straight into Sinister5's hands, and they'll take it.
As you can see the experience just seeping through from Sinister5, and ultimately sort of crushing Nibble in the sense that they're making these mistakes that are just punishing, not in the sense of the scoreboard, but it's deflating in that sense where a player who opens up the round ultimately throws away their life, negating the fact that they had a man advantage. It's back in the same spot, even tougher, if you may say, with Ivan sitting on 15 HP. This fight's important, and further.
Oh, Sin5 are just positioning so well, but Mohammed has an opportunity to get things back into their favor. They are aware that it is a top hit. He gets another frag as well, so he pushed through the door, and it is Elusive that recovers it, and little bit of a closer call, or at least one of the closer rounds here. But again, Sin5 put it on the board, put it away. 8-1 now, and smooth sailing here for them on their T side. And I'm happy to see it. A timeout called from Nibble Conspire.
They've been good with their timeouts of late. We saw that in Vertigo. They used pretty much all 4 timeouts. It's around that 10-round mark where you want to be getting that second timeout if the first one didn't really help you out. If you're still sitting at a 7-round deficit, so Nibble conjuring up some plans. I mean, they just need to win 3 rounds, I'd say. The fifth, oh, okay, well, Elusive sitting on 15,000 and Zero Chance on 11,000, so you could pretty much say they can buy the rest of the half, because even if they lose 4 rounds in a row, they could obviously have that max round bonus that supplements them there. So they've lost the financial war in that sense, so they need to just forget about that and focus strictly on just winning the rounds, no matter if you win with 1 player or 3 players. They need to get that before they start thinking further.
Yeah, and also not needing the AWP as well. Pressure is applied on ramp. Zero Chance needs to go huge. He does. Gets most of the frags, but again, kind of expect that on a round like that, but beautiful to watch nonetheless. And we go straight into the buy round now, and we do need to, or want to see a response here from Nibble. 1-9, and as well, they are able to get that AWP up and Frozen. Did get that first duel, get that first pick the last time he wielded the gun, so hopefully he looks to do the same again.
As I mentioned earlier, that's Frozen and Mohammed are your star players for Nibble Esports, so they're the ones you need to be looking at. The AWP isn't Frozen, so he's that impact player in that sense. He's sitting in garage so far, so quite in an isolated spot from depth. Only really has vision on the floor of that ace side. The call should be out that one player should have potentially dropped. Maybe even can call it out if there is a sound cue, but the remaining T players are huddling around ramp and they're going to push off the ramp anchor. Mohammed, he's the man they're going to be facing soon. Do they go through that smoke?
I think they do.
I think they will. Oh, traded out Elusive on the lower side, just about to fly.
No!
Deletes Rogue with the swift flick to the head, and sort of just steepens the mountain for them. Once again, playing it from a deficit. Once again, playing it from a disadvantage, a position here. And this time, at least they set up their post bounce correctly. Elusive ever so patient and all. Okay, all right. Everybody into the meat grinder. Everybody.
Yeah, sit down, makes it look easy. And now, gonna look for fourth one, 80% of the team. Elusive, solid round there, and even just that little adjustment where he gets away with the edge of his life, he knows that he's putting or creating pressure for rotations to come through there, and once he gets that opening duel, the rest of them just fall into his crosshair, and we spoke about it on Vertigo as well. Very few can hold an angle better than Elusive, so see some of that magic over there, but Deagles now, Scout as well, outside pressure, same as we've seen in the past. Zero Chance quickly able to support, spots the Scout play as well, but here comes the push. No real damage done though.
It's one of those rounds you kind of brush off. If you Sinister5, you automatically assume you're going to win these according to how you play. Just one man left. The Scout can't really do much. He does summon, but it's not much. 11-1. This is a thumping goals, a thrashing, a beating, a spanking.
It is Sin5 looking clinical. You can see this, why this is their map pick, and you just start to see the confidence coming out of the players and just the awareness. Overall comm just seems to be uplifted, and Nibble yet to respond. Tough opposition to deal with. He's one of the top teams, so are hitting a little bit of a wall, but I do see that they've changed that position of the AWP, looking to get that frag towards door, but numbers are moving towards outside. We've seen this before, and they tend to push through the smoke, and they will again get the first frag, and they open up that heaven area completely, and this has been their kind of go-to strategy here, and it's just paid off so much, Tools.
It pays off in the sense that you're always going to get that one C2 who tries to exploit that smoke, and ultimately that flashbang isolates them and makes it easier for the T's to control. But DOD,
whoa,
Rose, Frozen, quick succession of kills, pulls around his back effective immediately. That was quick goals. I pricked my eye and they got around. God damn.
Yeah, it just looked like multiple duels across the map were taken, and Nibble won every single one of them. And if there was ever a time to stand up and get back into this game, it was then, and they need to convert this one as well.
Yeah, you kind of need to get Frozen's juices flowing. You need to get Mohammed's juices flowing as well. Your hit makers and the rest need to come to the party and support them, enabling them further. You're really getting a pick or a tag, or a leg onto Deviant. He's sitting on 7 HP, so he's going to want to be playing a lot more passive and be the utility player at this point. If I was him, but they're going to go for the upper burst that did work early here. First man of contact is Weasel, the trade from above. DOD, Elusive finally takes him out and down to a 2v3. Kobe lands into Deviant. And ultimately, they got the positioning for the retake, but they forfeited the upper side. They've gone towards ramp, but they're aware of it. This stall's important. Elusive, he needs to win it, and he puts Rogues with such low HP. I thought that was awful holding that angle. Further down into 12 HP, then Nate tickles him, goals. It tickles him.
Yeah, but now the jig is up. Frozen's already got into this aggressive position. We saw him with the Deagle, and he does it with the AWP again. The man knows the angle. Should just play here the whole round. He's got so many frags from there, and that's a critical frag. No support from Zero Chance. Stuck between a rock and a hard place here. He needs to try and find or isolate one of these Jules tools.
Yeah, and he's gonna eventually get it if they carry on the way they are. Frozen at the flick from above. That's crazy. He's popping off.
He looks like he puts himself in these crazy positions, and he's just got that flick of the wrist to compensate for it. And he lands these nutty shots. I'm quite impressed here from Frozen. And what a time to step up again.
Who does he remind you of, goals? This play style. First thing comes to mind is Slowy. Puts himself in crazy positions, but eventually lands the flick. His mechanical skill, time and time again, bails him out of those situations. And DOD understands how the squeaky door works, understands the timing of it. Best Deviant, giving them the man advantage. And he's in fact going to take more map control. He's going to clear out lobby and regurgitate that information to his teammates, enabling them to get prime spots like they're doing right now. But lower side has been taken from Sinister5. Zero Chance, clean, swift headshot onto Rose. And this is how the cookie crumbles. These one-on-one fights aren't going to suit the CTs, and they keep taking it. The fire Frozen. He puts himself in the crazy situations like we spoke of, and there's more coming out of Dweezil. More fire to the fuel.
Yo, beautiful shot there from Frozen. Fire also burning Dweezil. So 2v2 scenario, but their positions are given up. Both players' positions are known.
Bro, I felt like he didn't need to commit that much to the angle over there. And then finally, Zero Chance opens up the round strong and as well as closes with 18 kills for him and 12 rounds on the board for Sinister5, 3 for Nibble Esports. This half didn't go the way that they wanted, but it's a game of two halves, goals. It's a game of two halves.
Yeah, and just in that last round, you could just see how stressed they were, despite getting those opening kills and not needing to kind of force those rotations. Once they lost that side control, they kind of all pushed into lobby and banked on the fact that Sin5 were going to be aggressing towards heaven, aggressing towards mouth. You could see the util being placed to defend those positions, and ultimately Sin5 juke them and go downstairs, and they win the post plant. But back onto the pistol, it looks like a fast top rush is the call. Mouth has already been smoked. It is a full vent rush, but multiple frags go the way of Sin5, spamming through that smoke, tapping away, and they know, or they're well aware of where they're coming. The bomb is going to be able to go down tools behind the silo.
Oh, Rose helping the boys out. Got to pick into Dweezil here. Elusive going to push forward. Takes out the bomber. 2v4. There's a smoke still and 2 flashes on Barney, but how does he utilize it? Rogues needs to come big. He does eventually get Ruan, get Elusive. Excuse me. Ruan's his real name. Real names matter. What now? We're in a game. Deviant. He's going to tap the bomb. The squeaky door is open, so he's aware of it. Picks up the Glock, deletes. Ivan, Zero Chance, finishes off the round on Rogues, and it felt like that strategy they employed was doomed to fail from the time they left spawn. It's something everybody does, and ultimately there's a plan B. Deviant is already downstairs. It's been called out. You want to be using that as a diversion to either go ramp or go towards outside. It's an archaic strat, girls. It's out of the playbook. It's out of the meta.
Yeah, and I think just those 2 swift frags kind of just make everybody feel easy, and you just got such a tall task ahead of you. But Sin5 poised and positioned for that strategy.
If they can land some headshots here, there's a deagle on Mohammed. We've seen how crazy his deagles, how accurate his headshots are. But the scout has his advantages. I like how slow they're playing. Enables them to bait out the utility from Sinister5 a little, make the round a bit more expensive. Pop flash just to find some information, but nothing comes of it. Deviant, got an MP7. This gun isn't too bad at this range. It's exactly what you can do. If you know your opponent's on a head armor, you can just tap away. MP9. They're gonna go for the knife.
Yeah.
Cheeky. 14 rounds on the board from Sinister5. Soaring ahead. Monumental gap between these two teams on the scoreboard. It seems so on the server as well. Nibble. For me, it looks like they have a lot of mechanical power, right? Individually, they're banging. I've seen each and every one of them hits crazy shots, right? They just literally just put it all together with a via in the strategy, and someone needs to support. Someone needs to be the hot man. You know, retaining that MP7 does have its benefits, have its perks, close quarter engagements, just like that. Rogue's best is man, surviving with 19 HP, but 9 needs to get back and not forfeit that man advantage, especially on the CT side. It's so pivotal, it's so important. Gets another!
Yeah, beautiful support flash, yeah.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah, so low on HP, but still able to get such a monumental frag in the spy round, and aggression is punished. Zero Chance goes down. Frozen picks it up, quickly reacts, but Dweezil still waiting here on the hut. It is a 3v3, and the weapons definitely favor the side of Nibble, so they can get another frag. Oh, it's close. Dweezil put so low, but not able to capitalize completely on the frag there. It will allow him to reposition and change up his angle. Gets off very softly here.
That's a sound cue for sure. I'm pretty sure Dweezil's nervous as hell. And there we go. That's why they're fishing him out, and they eventually spam him down. Frozen gives their man advantage to Nibble. If they can continue as they do so right now, keep the advantage and keep the trade game alive. Keep that advantage going. They're going to drop down the vent. I like it.
Deviant is waiting though. He gets that first frag. Beautiful second peek as well. They aren't together. The spacing and trading is not there. They kind of get caught unawares, and Deviant's got control of the bomb. He spots the last player as well, and he takes the duel. Deviant ends it off with a beautiful triple kill there. Again, just in position, ready and waiting.
This is his map. Like, statistically, looking back at the archives, this is his map. He used to be one of those mouth players, very nimble, accurate, good on calling information, good on his rotations, being at the right place at the right time. He's that type of guy, but we see him on ramp, and this is probably due to rotation, but he does his job well. He does it good. Nibble will feel hard down by that, giving away that man advantage. Spacing, as you mentioned, wasn't really great. Deviant getting spammed through the smoke, and that's ramp free. They're hesitating taking it. It should come back to bite them. There's a rotation coming in the form of Zero of Elusive, but he doesn't really take full control of the angle. He's holding it at depth.
Yeah, more of an informative angle there for the rest of his team. Just needs to spot whether they cross or not, and still no information gained, and multiple players are moving towards that ramp room, so they are going to commit to this push, perhaps look for another frag.
Yeah, they're giving away a lot of sound cues, and all of them are around ramps, so the CTs can push around and find information. They're going to eventually end up to the lower side. They tried their control, but Dweezil stops them in the tracks. Elusive coming through ramp, picking off a play, trying to jump down. Now they've lost the man advantage. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Dweezil, once again, falling on their side, and goals. One man alive. Ivan, the shotgun. You can't lose to that, my man. You got 6 bullets left. There's still a chance with him. He's got the AK, but Rogue puts some nail in the coffin, puts some nail in the round, and that's GG. Sinister5 take it 2-0. Once again, we see another 2-0 in qualifier, winning qualifier. Day 2, we see another 2-0. Sinister5, a strong performance. They survived the onslaught from Nibble on the first map, taking it to overtime, eventually clutching it out, paying off the dividends they experience. Eventually, Ruan coming through, Elusive, putting up the numbers on both maps, in fact. So, not both maps, so that's 0 chance on this map, goals. But good closing map, good closing map for Sinister5. They're going to qualify and kind of expected. Qualifier 1 was Dynamic Esports. Qualifier 2, I did assume it was Sinister5 clinching it out. And there's 2 more spots left. There's 2 more spots, goals. So what do you make of day two so far?